Good morning, everyone. Good to be with you again today. Hope you're doing well. Been praying for all of you. Looking forward to seeing one another hopefully pretty soon. We'll see what transpires in the next several weeks. But know that you are being prayed for. You are appreciated. You are loved. You are an important part of the Army work. And I want you to know that today and pray that you would be encouraged. Somebody estimated at one point that most of us spend from about 45 to 60 minutes waiting on something every single day. That includes waiting for a light to turn green, waiting at the drive-thru, waiting for a cashier, waiting for the nurse to say the doctor will see you now, waiting for the mechanic to fix our car, waiting on the barber, the beautician to finish our hair, waiting for the kids to finish practice. Waiting. We hate it. I hate it. It seems as if all of life is about waiting. You wait for a baby to be born. You wait for the baby to say the first words, to take the first steps. You wait until you're 16 to drive a car. You wait for the right man or woman to come along to get married. You wait for a promotion, your first home, a new car. You wait on your husband to fix something. You wait on your wife to get ready. We wait. Even now, we're waiting for our world to open up. We're waiting for hair salons, well, I am. For restaurants, we have no other choice but to wait for its outcome. I'm not good at waiting. I think that I'm a patient person, but in reality, I'm not. My daughter is shaking her head at me right now because she knows I am not a patient person. I stand at the microwave and I watch the seconds tick by. Sometimes I wait in line tapping my foot in exasperation. And if there's a price check, well, then I'm going to be done. I'll find another lane. I'm not rude about it, but inside I can feel myself stewing and fretting. I try to be better. I pray for patience, and I know that the circumstances in my life are there to teach me this. But it is so hard. Waiting is hard. And it's difficult, many times frustrating, and at times it can test our faith. It's especially difficult when there's no guarantee that what we are waiting for will come to pass. Desires we long for, prayers we've been praying, news we've been waiting to hear can tempt us to be impatient and be discouraged, anxious, and even wonder if God really cares. This makes our waiting even harder. So let's figure out how we can navigate through our times of waiting and come out on the other side stronger. I've had to be reminded, maybe you too, that the world doesn't stop when we're waiting. God still hears. He's available and present. And so maybe this will encourage you to take a deep breath and in your waiting, know that God is working his plan. So I want you to know these truths today, that while we are all waiting, God is working. Waiting is uncomfortable because we often feel that God is silent. But this period of time is crucial for us to continue to develop into the people that God designs us to be. In this period of time, God is working on our character. He is more interested in our character and our ability to reflect Christ in our daily lives. And he uses these waiting periods to prepare godly character in us. Interestingly, in 2 Peter 1:6, there is a ladder of faith. And it says, for this very reason, make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness knowledge, to knowledge self-control, to self-control perseverance, and to perseverance godliness, and to godliness mutual affection, and to mutual affection love. Interestingly, godliness follows perseverance, which is patience or endurance. Godliness does not follow faith or knowledge, but it follows perseverance. When you wait, you develop patience and thereby godliness. All of us know Moses was the one who delivered the people of Israel from the bondage in Egypt. But tell me, when was the vision first implanted in the heart of Moses that would get him to deliver his people? It wasn't by the burning bush. It was before that. In Acts, it says, when Moses was 40 years old, he decided to visit his own people, the Israelites. He saw one of them being mistreated by an Egyptian. So he went to his defense and avenged him by killing the Egyptian. Moses thought that his own people would realize that God was using him to rescue them, but they did not. Verse 25, people did not recognize this vision that God had planted in his heart. Moses was 40 years old when this happened, and we know the rest of the story. He had to flee the desert. Imagine what would have been going on in Moses' mind when he was in the desert as a shepherd. Maybe for the first few years, he would have waited and waited. Finally, I guess he would have just buried that vision. He probably thought the vision never came from God, and God had to intervene again through a burning bush. But all those 40 years as Moses was waiting, God was working on Moses' character. Compare Moses when he received the vision at 40 and again at 80. Apart from maturity that comes by age, there is a huge difference in his character. When Moses first got the vision, he was a different man. He was young, energetic, relied on his strength to get things done. He was a prince. He had power and authority. As a young man, he was impatient and brash. He kills the Egyptian who tried to hurt his fellow brother. He tries to reconcile and be a judge among two Hebrew brethren who were fighting. He used his strength, wisdom, and means that time. Now, when God had completely worked on him, Moses knew his strength was nothing. He had no power to accomplish anything. He literally fights with God to choose someone else for this great task. When he became totally dependent on God, God fulfilled the vision through Moses. God is preparing our skills and our abilities. On one hand, he molds us and shapes us. He takes away our pride and our dependency on ourselves. And on the other hand, he prepares our skills and abilities to receive the calling that he has in store for us. There are Bible scholars that say when the prophet Samuel came to the house of Jesse to anoint him over king of Israel, David was probably 10 to 15 years old. But he did not immediately become king. He had to wait until he was 30. But during those days, what was happening? For a long time, he worked under Saul. God was preparing him first under a king himself, so he was fully equipped to be a king. No doubt his first victory was with a sling and a few pebbles, but later as a king, he never fought battles with slings and pebbles. He was fully equipped. God had actually trained him. That's why it says in Psalm 144:1, "Praise be to the Lord my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle." He attributes the training to God alone. He knew it was God who gave him those skills. God also prepares our circumstances while we're waiting. In Esther, this beautiful story of the night the king could not sleep. So he ordered the book of the Chronicles, the record of his reign, to be brought in and read. It was found recorded there that Mordecai had exposed two of the king's officers who guarded the doorway, who had conspired to assassinate the king. The king said, "What honor and recognition has Mordecai received for this?" And the attendants said, "Nothing has been done for him." The king said, "Who is in the court?" Haman had entered the outer court of the palace to speak to the king about impaling Mordecai on the pole he had set up. See, the way God works is so interesting. And so the end of the previous chapter, Haman was busy throughout the night setting up the gallows for Mordecai. And incidentally, that same night, insomnia strikes the king, he couldn't sleep. So he calls for the book of Chronicles to be read. The book was supposed to put him to sleep, but all it did was bring up something that had to be done immediately. The timing was perfect. The king couldn't sleep. In God's sovereign plan, he stays up all night in order that he might be reminded of Mordecai's act of saving his life. Even in our lives, God prepares the circumstances in our favor. Believe me, his timing is always perfect. He is never ahead of time. He is never before time. He's always on time. While we wait, God is working behind the screen. Like a 3-year-old, we might never get a glimpse of God's calendar, but all you and I can do is trust him. He wants us to trust him so deeply that we don't rely on our own strength. Rather, we wait on him, simply to be still and know that he is God. When God told Abraham and Sarah that he would give them a child, they would have thought they had a role to play in bringing about the miracle, but all they actually needed to do was trust in him and be still. So, how do we wait, knowing that God is working through all the details? We declare our confidence in God. Psalm 21 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life." We also voice our prayers. Psalm 27 says, "My heart says of you, seek his face. Your face, Lord, I will seek." I like the way the New Living Translation says, "My heart has heard you say, 'Come and talk with me.' And my heart responds, 'Lord, I am coming.'" And finally, hang on to your confidence. Another verse in Psalm 27 says, "I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." I won't just proclaim my confidence in the Lord today. I will hang on to this confidence. I will stay the course. I will trust in the unchanging goodness and faithfulness of God today and tomorrow and the next day, for as many days as it takes. So hang in there. Hang on to your confidence in the Lord. Your faith is well placed. God will come through for you. Just wait and see. It feels like there should be an exclamation point. Wait for the Lord. Be strong. Take heart. Wait for the Lord. Lean on him. He is completely trustworthy. Listen to these words. What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting arms. Safe and secure from all alarm, leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, how sweet to walk in the pilgrim way, leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, how bright the path grows from day to day, leaning on the everlasting arms. And listen to this. What have I to dread? What have I to fear? I have peace complete with my Lord so near, leaning on the everlasting arms. So lean on him today. Wait for him. Put your confidence in him. Speak to him. Trust him. It's okay to wait. It's okay, because God is working. He's working on us. He's working through us. And when we come out of this, God is going to bless us, and he's going to bless our land. So God bless you today, folks. Have a great day.